Hello everyone, welcome to a painting tutorial by Static Grass Creations. My name is Jason, and today I will be showing you how I painted this Ursarax. It's a resin model from Forgeworld for the Mechanicum Forces. I have already primed the model black and added some white primer to help me with the brightness and shadows. Averland Sunset is airbrushed on as the base coat first. You can always use a brush, but I find the airbrush is faster and allows for smoother coats. I focus on the shoulder plates, hands, jetpacks, and shin guards. The next coat is Vallejo Air Medium Yellow. The model air paints are quite thin, especially the yellows and brighter colors, so as to be airbrush ready. Using a brush would need many layers to get the coverage I would want, and I love the saturated yellow, and it just needs a couple layers of the airbrush to come through. The first base coat is Light Belcher. I paint the fingers, upper arms, chest piece and tubes, the back and jets, the feet and thighs, and I'm careful around the yellow, but not otherwise worried about coverage. Paint has good coverage on its own, and I'm planning to add highlights and shading later. Next is Abaddon Black. It's applied to the jetpack rim, visor, chest, thigh pieces, and thin wires to the arms. I used a couple layers for smooth coverage. I used fulgurite copper next on a handful of the smaller details to break up the silver. The center of the chest piece, stubs on the upper arms and legs, the head, and the hatch on the back. Once the copper is dry, I apply a Reikland Flesh shade to all those spots. I let the wash pool in the holes in the deeper areas for more shading. Seraphim Sepia is painted on silver areas. Like the copper, I let the wash pool in the deeper recesses, but neither are necessarily heavy washes. To have the texture of brush metals, I dry brush Vallejo Air Chrome on all the metallic areas. Some areas are brushed heavier than others for the variety. I'm quite careful as to not get much chrome on the yellows, so there will be unhighlighted parts that I think will add to the variety of the texture and contrast. Back to the yellow, I edge highlight all the yellow parts of the model with Ushabti bone. I don't highlight each part in their entirety, and I focus on the parts protruding the most or are facing upward. I think the bone highlight gives the impression the yellow is warmer. I highlight the black next with Vallejo USAF Dark Gray. This is an edge highlight for the most part, but I'm applying it more liberally. There's not a lot of black on this piece, so there needs to be more done to it to make it noticeable. The visor is almost half layered on rather than edge highlighted, and that would be the end of the main color scheme of the model. Blood for the Blood God technical paint is used to create wet blood splattering all over the front of the Ursarax, as if it's just finished turning an enemy of the Omnitia into paste. Fists are covered quite heavily and the blood is all over the chest and face with some on the shoulder guards. I also flick some paint using the harder bristles of the brush to get the smaller splattering. Now I start on the base. I apply a base coat of Rhinox hide, avoiding the feet. Once completely dry, I heavily dry brush on Zandri Joss. Shab du Bone is dry brush as the highlight. And the final highlight is Vallejo Off-White. The end result should be a bright off-white dirt with dark brown underneath. Next, I'll be adding aged rust pigment dust and fixers together to get my own paint, and applying it right on top of the dirt. I make it look like a red dirt vein, and I apply it to the legs of the Ursarax as well to set it in the scene. Pigment ends up drying matte, and with almost a chalky texture. I do the same thing with another pigment, bone dust. I use it as a bit of a highlight because I have finding just one color makes it a little bit flat looking. Be aware that the pigment and fixer will mess up whatever paintbrush you use. I recommend an old brush or a specific cheap brush that is used for this kind of work. Finishing the base, I glue on a couple grass tufts and clean up the rim with some black. And that completes the Ursarax. I've been told a unit of these are terrifying on the battlefield. They jump around and smash everything to paste. This was a part of a commission and they needed it to stand out from the rest of the army, so Hazard Yellow was chosen. The rest of the Mechanicum army is the standard red scheme, but these guys got some special treatment. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial from Static Grass Creations. Stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe.